It's Fair Go Friday, and I'm joined by Madeleine King, Labor's Shadow Minister for Consumer Affairs, and more importantly, a great Western Australian member of the Federal Labor team. Madeleine, you've been doing a whole bunch of work on making sure that people don't get ruined or have their lives shaken up by payday lenders. Tell us more about that work.
Thanks, Patrick. Yeah, the Labor Party has been doing a lot of work in this space. The problem with payday lenders is they prey on the vulnerable in our community. They put them into an unending circle of debt, a spiral, if you like, that people can't get out of. They get charged outrageous interest rates. They have terms in contracts where they have to just keep paying money well after they've actually paid off the principal sum of what is a nominally small loan, but when you're vulnerable in hardship, it ends up being a lot of money, and it really burns people up.
Sounds like the sort of thing that any government, Labor or Liberal, might do something about.
What do you know? So literally 1,209 days ago, so that's just over 3 years in this government, a review was started on small credit contracts in this country. 729 days ago, this government, the Liberal government, accepted all the recommendations of that review. They were good recommendations, exactly. There was a cap on what you'd have to, on payments back to the loan sharks. There was a cap on consumer leases, so people wouldn't end up paying $3,000 for initially a $300 washing machine or the like. So what they did then is they brought in some draft legislation. And then what happened? Well, the parliamentary friends of payday lending in the Liberal Party put a stop to that. They withdrew the legislation, and ever since that day, which is 2 years ago, this Liberal government has done nothing.
That's terrible.
It is unbelievable is what it is.
But if you become our Minister for Consumer Affairs, what's going to change?
Well, to be honest, we've been trying to work on this even in opposition. So we've put in a private members bill, and which is exactly the same as the Liberal legislation. They refuse to vote on it because they don't want their own party to cross the floor because they actually agree with these reforms. But they're beholden to the hard reactionary right, as Julie Banks calls them, and they're not getting anywhere. Now the crossbenchers themselves have introduced the very same legislation. We're going to try and introduce it again. We want to really bring this home before the end of Parliament if we can. We're going to try our best. But, you know, this government, who knows what they'll do? It's chaotic, it's dysfunctional, whereas we in the Labor Party, Patrick, myself and all our colleagues, you know, we're here to give people a fair go, make sure Australians are looked after and that the vulnerable people aren't preyed upon by payday loan sharks in this country.
Well, Madeleine, thank you so much for what you're doing to make sure that people do get a fair go when they need to access credit and that they're not taken advantage of. It's great to see that Labor has a clear plan to do something about it. It's just one more part of our plan to deliver a fair go for Perth, a fair go for WA, and a fair go for Australia.